November 28, 2024. Thursday of the 34th week in Ordinary Time. A reading from the Book of Revelation. I, John, saw another angel coming down from heaven, having great authority, and the earth was made bright with his glory. And he called out with a mighty voice, Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a dwelling place for demons, a haunt for every unclean spirit, a haunt for every unclean bird, a haunt for every unclean and detestable beast. Then a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and threw it into the sea, saying, So will Babylon the great city be thrown down with violence, and will be found no more, and the sound of harpists and musicians, of flute players and trumpeters, will be heard in you no more, and a craftsman of any craft will be found in you no more, and the sound of the mill will be heard in you no more, and the light of a lamp will shine in you no more, and the voice of bridegroom and bride will be heard in you no more, for your merchants were the great ones of the earth, and all nations were deceived by your sorcery. After this I heard what seemed to be the loud voice of a great multitude in heaven, crying out, Hallelujah! Salvation and glory and power belong to our God, for his judgments are true and just, for he has judged the great prostitute who corrupted the earth with her immorality, and has avenged on her the blood of his servants. Once more they cried out, Hallelujah! The smoke from her goes up forever and ever. And the angel said to me, Write this, Blessed are those who are invited to the marriage supper of the Lamb. The word of the Lord. Responsorial Psalm Response. Blessed are those who are invited to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Cry out with joy to the Lord, all the earth. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before him, singing for joy. Blessed are those who are invited to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Know that he, the Lord, is God. He made us, we belong to him. We are his people, the sheep of his flock. Blessed are those who are invited to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with songs of praise. Give thanks to him, and bless his name. Blessed are those who are invited to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Indeed, how good is the Lord, eternal his merciful love. He is faithful from age to age. Blessed are those who are invited to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Alleluia, alleluia. Straighten up and raise your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. Alleluia. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. At that time, Jesus said to his disciples, But when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then know that its desolation has come near. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let those who are inside the city depart, and let not those who are out in the country enter it, for these are days of vengeance, to fulfill all that is written. Alas for women who are pregnant and for those who are nursing infants in those days. For there will be great distress upon the earth and wrath against this people. They will fall by the edge of the sword and be led captive among all nations, and Jerusalem will be trampled underfoot by the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. And there will be signs in sun and moon and stars, and on the earth distress of nations in perplexity because of the roaring of the sea and the waves, people fainting with fear and with foreboding of what is coming on the world. For the powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Now when these things begin to take place, straighten up and raise your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. The Gospel of the Lord. Reflection. Thursday, 34th week in Ordinary Time. This morning's Gospel has a very dark tone to it. Jesus speaks of the destruction of Jerusalem and the terrible consequences for all who are living there. He goes on to speak of great disturbances in the cosmos that will bring fear to people everywhere. Yet, just when all is at its darkest, Jesus declares that the Son of Man will appear in all his power and glory, bringing redemption, liberation, to all who welcome his coming. There are times in our lives when our own world can appear to be falling apart. Disturbing events happen over which we have little or no control, we can be left shaken and frightened. This morning's Gospel reading is reminding us that it is above all in such moments when we are most aware of our vulnerability and frailty that the Lord is closest to us. He stands by us in his risen power, giving us strength in our weakness. His presence has the power to liberate us from our fears and to give us the confidence to stand erect with our heads held high, in the words of the Gospel reading. We can be tempted to let the darkness envelope us. We need to resist that temptation because the light of the Lord's presence shines in the darkness and we are assured that the darkness will not overcome it.